Good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Karen Alexander, Director of the Curriculum Center for Family and Consumer Sciences at Texas Tech University. And Mara Driscoll, who is our instructional designer, is also on the call this evening. And we are so excited to have you all here and to be working with you. I know that this is not what you all were planning to have happen in the spring semester of your year. We also have been in transition this week, moving computer equipment home and trying to get reestablished. I hope that you will bear with us if there happens to be any slight technical glitches, but we should be okay. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. You never know how these things go. We want to make sure that everyone's microphones are muted. It looks like that is the case. The purpose of our webinar tonight is to give you a brief overview to the Curriculum Center materials, resources that Gayla Randall has arranged for you to have access to. And there are 12 courses that she has requested from our course listings. And these courses are all linked to the National Standards for Family and Consumer Sciences. And so that alignment is very important for us, and I know that that is what you all use in Kansas. And so Mara is going to be spending some time with you this evening demonstrating to you the Motivus learning management system, and hopefully those of you who have been approved have been able to log in and see a little bit of the product. Maybe you've been able to watch her welcome video, but we wanted to take an opportunity to walk you through so you know what you have, and then hopefully there'll be some times for question and answer. One of the things that we want to show you is how to take some of the resources and either modify them slightly for a learning management system on your side, because a lot of what we have certainly is for a face-to-face classroom, but it could be quickly modified. But the biggest thing that will be a time saver for you is that all of the PowerPoints are already prepared for you, and you also have fillable PDFs for any of your student materials. So all of that is taken care of. So at this point, I'm going to turn this over to Mara. I'm going to go on mute, and I'm going to let her take care of what is occurring. I do want to mention to you before we start that we have a chat function, and I'm making that chat function available on the right side of my screen. And if you have a question while Mara is presenting and you don't want to interrupt her, then just go ahead and type your question in, and I'll be keeping track of those and letting her know at a point where we have those. Okay? So Mara, take it away.
Well, hello. I want to welcome y'all and let you know, please feel free to interrupt, because this is very casual. This is for you. This is a time when you need to ask questions and try to stump me if you can, or break the system if you can, because we need to get you over whatever problems you're going to have and get those out of the way. Let's front load this. So this is y'all's training time, so feel free to interrupt and raise your hand. So without further ado, let me share my screen, and I think I've got the right one here. So can everyone see a bulletin board? I thought that would be at least sort of cute. Let me see if I can also show this bottom part. I want to be able to show you, oh, where did it go? Down here at the bottom. Okay, whenever I need to get online to show you the platform, that may take me a little bit of juggling, but let's get going. So first of all, we're going to talk about logging in. Has everyone received their, we call it a welcome email from Motivus, and has everyone seen that long, terrible password that they give you, that please feel free for you to change that to something that you prefer? You just need 8 characters. That's all you need. So has anyone not received that you were expecting it? Because we need to make a note of you and get you activated and going. Is everybody okay with that part? If you haven't tried logging in, try logging in within the next, well, hopefully by tomorrow. Oh, Cindy, did you not get your login stuff?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna make a note of you on an old-fashioned sticky note and see if I can find out why you didn't get your welcome email. Anybody else?
I think there's several of us that are posting it on the chat that haven't received login information yet.
Okay.
Okay, so this is up here, Karen. I can tell you that if you were approved today by Gala, we have not gotten that information to Motivus, but we will do that first thing in the morning. There were just a few of you, but the individuals that were approved previously, like on Tuesday, Wednesday, we have already gotten you in the system, and you should have gotten the welcome email. You may want to check your junk mail. We did have a couple of email issues, so if you don't have access, I'm going to kind of look through here on the chat, and I'll check you against the spreadsheet, and then I can let you know by the end of the call the status of that. Okay?
Okay, Cindy, I wrote your name down though, girl. I'm on you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so the next thing is we would recommend that you use Chrome, Firefox, or Edge. Edge is not my favorite, but I'm really a big Chrome user, or Firefox. If you have problems in one browser, go ahead and have it pinned to your taskbar. You may want to try it in a different browser. Oftentimes, I know Firefox likes to do an update periodically on their actual browser service, and sometimes Motivus is the name of our platform, and sometimes Motivus doesn't stay as caught up as what Firefox would want them to. So if you ever start to have issues with logging in, try changing your browser. If you're using Internet Explorer, you know that needs to stop. Internet Explorer is not strong enough to deal with all the graphics and the links that we have. So that's just food for thought. So let's kind of go through this bulletin board first, and then so that way your brain is what we're going to be doing. We'll go into navigation, and then maybe we'll just log in here in a second. So when we talk about navigation, I want you to always know that the menu bar is always, always, always on the left. If something happens to your menu bar, it's maybe because you're either using it on a mobile device, or because you inadvertently clicked the arrow, and I can show you, and it'll just show you little icons.
We're at sprayer ready.
I'm sorry. Did I miss a question? Okay, let me know if I missed a question.
I think it was just background noise.
Oh, okay, okay. Course selection, I'll show you how to click into courses, which I think you'll see it, but I know we're all under stress, and so sometimes we miss things that might later on be more obvious. And then the last thing is how the course itself works, where you land when you first click into a course, and then how to get into the strategies themselves. Whoops, sorry, I went too far. So I'm gonna put pause on this, and let's go ahead and I'm just gonna show you how to log in, and oops, nope. What's happening to me here? There we go. So I'm gonna go into Chrome. That's just my favorite. And this is how I get into it, because I'm a lazy person and I don't even do bookmarks. And so if you're ever away from your desktop where you maybe have it bookmarked, if you'll remember this way, to me, it's the easiest. That way I don't have anything. I can get on it on my phone or on my tablet, and it doesn't have to be saved. So it's CCFCS, which stands for the Curriculum Center for Family and Consumer Sciences. And then you can tell I go into this a lot because it already populated the TTU. So CCFCS space TTU is my search, is my Google. I'm going to click that. And we should be the top thing that populates, because this is how 80% of our people get into our software. I'm going to click on online curriculum because, again, I'm lazy. And you can tell I'm really lazy because we have a button here. It's black. When you hover over it, it turns white. We also have another way to log in. Sorry about that. My mouse went a little crazy. And you can also just click up here. And this stays constant regardless of what you click into. Like if you go to our catalog, of course I picked the one thing that doesn't stay constant. Let me back out of that. So if you go into our About, you'll notice that this toolbar stays up here. So you can always click into our curriculum login. So you can tell I log in quite often. My browser asked if I wanted to save my password. I told it yes. Your email, well, your username, what we call it, is your school email. Your password is that really long, hideous thing that we sent you in the welcome email. The first thing I do when I have those types of passwords is I change it to whatever I want. And I can show you where to do that as well. It's under account, just like any other website. So let's go ahead and sign in. And you're going to see my version. So there's some additional junk that you may not have to deal with. So good for you. So here's courses. Can everybody see my finger cursor? Here is courses. It's underneath messages. I'm going to click on courses. You're going to see additional courses. You'll only see 12. On my screen, you're going to see 66 or 63, it says. And so this is what they look like. They all have a banner. Now you'll notice that I don't get a finger whenever I hover around in this white area, but I do when I click on view or when I click on the blue title. Okay, so the whole thing is not a button, but these two items are view or the title itself. Okay, so I'm going to click into child development because it's one of our most popular ones, and because I happen to play in it more than some of the other courses, so I'm most familiar with it. And it looks like we're pretty busy on this one. So this is where you will land here. Let me click on this home button. These tabs up here are not my favorite tabs. This is a quirk of this particular learning management system, or LMS. You'll notice that home is now underlined. That's how I know what tab I've clicked on. Okay. Description, if you need an official description for whatever reason, if you're reporting back to your principal, or if you have a substitute teacher, here's a course description, and then we have an outline for you for how our topics and our units are set up. Our philosophy is to have big topics that are broken into units that are then broken into individual strategies. You'll notice I didn't say lesson plan. We don't give you canned lesson plans. We give you chunks of lesson plans for you to put together into a lesson plan for yourself. Okay, we call them instructional strategies. Now, some of our strategies are big enough that you could make that be your lesson plan for that class period, but then some of them are small enough or component enough that you could put them together to make a lesson plan, depending on your population, depending on the amount of time that you have in your class time. Okay, so now let's get into instructional strategies. That's what we're looking for. Sorry, that's my text message going off. And we're going to wait a little bit to let my browser catch up to us. And just to show you all the things that we have, let's try this one. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so I recognize some of these strategies. So I'm kind of jumping ahead. Let me get back into this. Is it going to let me? Yes, it will. So we're going to get back into our show. So that was some navigation. Let me make sure I covered everything we wanted to. Yes, I did. Okay, good. And again, this is yours. So whatever we need to do for you, let's do it. Let's talk about stacking, which is lesson planning. So these are what I like to call living lesson plans, meaning that they are, especially if you were still face-to-face, these would be something that you could hop from one to another quickly. But just for your planning purposes, I'm going to show you how to stack them on your browser, because again, they are just chunks of a lesson plan instead of a canned script. The next thing is I'm going to show you the features that come already embedded into the strategies. The resources and your national standards are built into each one specifically. So regardless of where you are, you know what you're teaching. And that some of these features are teaching aids. And so we call them teaching aids because it's more than just a worksheet. They're either fillable PDFs, or they're customizable PowerPoints, or they're customizable rubrics. And those are always in Word. Our PowerPoints are in PowerPoint. We also have Excel spreadsheets ever so often, which are all as well customizable. They're not locked down. Once you download them, they're yours. Okay, so you can tailor them to your teaching style or tailor them to the population that you're dealing with. Our PDFs, because they're PDFs and they're fillable, you can, if you want to really hack into them, change them up, but it's unpleasant to do, and we feel like that having them fillable means that you can send them to your students. They can get the world experience of filling out a fillable PDF, which is something that everyone needs to know how to do, and then upload it back to you. So okay, so having said that, let's go look at some strategies real quick, and let's see if it's going to let me do that little fancy thing I did before. Nope. I moved you guys down to the bottom and I don't like it there. Let me move you over. There we go. Now I can see. Okay, so we're going to click into this. I have to click preview. You will not have to click preview. Because this is my end of it. Okay, so this is what a strategy looks like. We always tell you what the activity or the strategy itself is, and that is here. That's always in the same position all the time. The objective is next, and the objective just tells you what the student expectation or the student learning outcomes are. Then also, and I'm glad I picked this one because this one has a special note. This one is telling you that this is a science literacy lesson, meaning that we feel that this ties in with the science requirements, or that you could even partner with your science teachers whenever you do this, or whenever they're doing a genetics unit or chapter, that you can spiral this throughout into your class as well. So you're kind of team teaching there. So let's see, here's then the strategy itself. Here's the instructions. We're pretty specific about what we want you to do, or what we feel like you should do, but we also try to give you options. So this is one of our teaching aids, so let's click into that. So this is a fillable PDF. My browser is letting me click right into it and get after it. I could also download this, save it, and then upload it into whatever LMS my school is making me use, whether it be Google Classroom or Schoology or whatever it is. Once you download it, it's yours. Okay, so you might even want to start making folders for the resources that you are going to use from this particular curriculum. Okay, so this is what our fillable PDFs look like. This is something you could even email to the students if you think if your school doesn't have an LMS already available to you. That's okay. Send this as an attachment to your students if that's how you're having to do things. All right. Now you'll notice, let me move I want to move this away. I'm going to get this out of my way. Yeah. Oops. Okay. So you'll notice it downloaded it as a servlet, and that's just what my browser is doing. But you'll also see that, how can I get this away, Dr. Alexander? Are y'all seeing the little share thing? Aha. Let me move you away. There we go. So the instructional strategies stayed up, and there they are. I just have to scroll down a little bit for me. So I do want to keep that one up. It also left up the PDF that I downloaded. So let me, so slow. Perfect. Okay. So, and I like to reorder mine because I want maybe the worksheet to come first, and then I'm going to leave that stack there and go all the way back to my, well, this browser's not working for me today. what I wanted it to do was just go back to the instructional strategies, and it looks like I'm having a little bit of a problem. So welcome to Teaching Online. I'm going to go back and see if I can get it to stack. Where was I? Fetal alcohol. That one. Okay. So I'm going to look at the, oh, I think it's because I'm in me. So it's treating this as a preview. I may hack into somebody else's account. Let me do that. I'm going to go into one of our other workers. Her name is Gianna, and she's going to let me be her for a second. So you're getting to see the dark underbelly. I'm going to log in as her. Sorry about that. There we go. Okay. Again, we're going to talk about this later on because this is not as important as knowing how the courses work. Ah, there we go. Okay. Starting over a little bit. Let's go to child development. Let's see if this is going to stack up. It's working. Okay. I'm going to get this to happen. There we go. This is what yours is going to look like. Did you notice the ribbons and stars on the right-hand side? We're going to talk about those in just a second. Okay, so you'll notice that it says viewing strategy. I can close it here. I can also close it by using the X. I'm going to go back to instructional strategies, and I'm going to show you how to stack, because I don't think that this Mendel's Law of Inheritance, even though it's kind of a lengthy strategy, I don't think it's enough for this particular class. So let's do birth defects 2. And maybe it'll show you some different features that we have. This one also has a note about the website that we've chosen, because it gets pretty specific. Oh, good. This one is also an FCCLA annotated strategy, meaning that if your students participate in FCCLA STAR events or the competitions, that this is one that we think is applicable to those. So we've tried to annotate those for you. And then here's some websites that we have the students going to. And then let's see if this, okay, another fillable PDF. Okay. I'm going to close that since we don't need it. But I'm going to leave this lesson up because I think I like it, and I think I have some FCCLA students that will need this. So I'm going to keep it in my head that I want to keep it. And then let's go to the next one, hereditary birth defects. Okay, and again, this is a science literacy lesson. It's talking about the March of Dimes. It's another FCCLA. And oh, here's one of our rubrics. Okay, good. You'll notice my browser downloads it at the bottom. I'm pointing, I'm sorry. It downloads it here at the bottom. So don't let that scare you. If you're using Firefox, it will populate into a little arrow in the top right-hand corner. You just have to know which browser you're using, with what they like. So here's what our rubrics look like. You'll notice I'm going to enable editing, and now it's mine. Once I save it into a folder or to my desktop, it's yours to use as you will. These are check boxes, and so you can either print them out, or I don't think you can mark them unless you just want to type in an X. Yeah, that's a good question. I probably need to look into that further. This is like, I particularly don't do bonus, so I would take this part out for my students because I guess I'm mean and awful, and I don't want to do bonus points. So they're completely editable by you. Okay, I'm going to close this down. I'm going to not save it since I don't want it there. But you'll notice that it kept all of these up on my browser. So what I'm going to do now is, if I was planning this, depending on how much time I think the students need with this particular topic, because they're all under the same topic, but now I get to pick and choose. And I think that I for sure want to start out with Mendel's Laws of Inheritance. And then I don't know that I want to maybe go into the birth defects. But what I may want to do is go into hereditary birth defects, since I think it ties better for my students with Mendel's Law. So does that make sense? How you can click, how you can load these up, and you can literally click through them as you're making your plan. Okay, and plus the resources stay up, like that fillable PDF that we left up. It stays up as well. So you're not then having to hunt and peck you've got it all loaded up across the top of your browser. Okay, so that's what we mean by stacking. When we say that stacking is lesson planning, that's exactly the process that we have envisioned for our teachers. Okay, look, I'm trying to clear that off because it's getting on my nerves. Okay, so I'm going to click out of that, and we're going to go back into our little presentation here. So we did stacking as planning. Okay, oh, a little more. Let's do that one. A little more. Let's talk about some of those things that we saw on top of our menu bar, and then that way you won't have it. And please feel free to click around. This is your stuff. So when you first log into Motivus, which is this platform, this is the home page. There is a short, I think it's less than 2 minutes, little video that just shows you everything that I just showed you, but without my Texan accent in it. There's no words, I promise. Then we have a thing called the stream, and if you use Google Classrooms, you'll be familiar with this. Oh, I'm still in Gianna's. I was like, why is this nothing here? She's just doesn't post anything because she's an employee. So, but you'll notice we have a Twitter feed that populates. You can actually come in here and pick some interests, and she just hasn't yet. Oh yeah, see. So news, you can click on news, and as soon as it decides to come up, and you'll notice your strategies are still here. So they stay up until you close them. Which is good. That way you don't forget something. We try to post things. It's been pretty hairy with all the bad news lately. I just haven't gotten around to posting any news, but we do try to do that, especially when we think that it directly impacts the CTE field or the FCS. Then we have messages, and this is where you can message anyone within this platform. So Deanna just hasn't, but she could go into create a message. And here is everyone. So like if you are at a conference, or if you are trying to remember someone in your state that you think is in this system, has been granted access, you can choose them and send them a message, and it'll just be between you two. Okay, so that way it's private. Or if you want to message me, I'm going to show you, you can either use that system, or I'll show you the help center in just a second, because that's really important. Let's go to groups, because Kansas, you can form your own group. You will notice that we have some groups that are private. This request to join means it's a private group. You can create your own group. This person is a group of 1. So, and shallow water. You'll notice Oklahoma has their own group, and they will even let you join, Kansas. So feel free to join Oklahoma. They're a really nice group of people. We have things that, like Educators Rising, North Carolina teachers have been requested not to join. That was a state decision on their Department of Public Instruction. They decided they didn't want their teachers participating with Educators Rising. So, but you are welcome to join any group that has a join. You're also welcome to join any group that you have to request, or make your own. Moving down, Discover, if it bothers you, you can search for community members, which is like if you are trying to think, what was my name again? You can just type in what you think it is, and there I am. Okay, there's also a person that has MARA in their last name. So that's what Discover is. It's like a search function. We don't use events because we are using Zoom events, so we don't put it here. But then if you ever need help, you are more than welcome to email me directly, mara.driscoll@ttu.edu. I think it's on the welcome email that you got. Or you can come right here, and you'll notice that all these are still up, and this becomes important in a second, is that you can create a case. And I want you to be confident in knowing that these cases come to me. They don't go somewhere else. They don't go to Motivus or somewhere bizarre or a call center. They come right to me. So you can send me a message that says, Mara is stuttering. I don't know. You can tell me what case type maybe you're having a lesson issue. Now, where it says class and lesson title, I want to take it right from here. I'm just going to copy and paste. And I'm going to go back, and I'm going to paste it right here. Ta-da, easy peasy. And then that way I know exactly what lesson or not lesson, what strategy you're having issues with. And then here I can say maybe that there's a misspelled word, heaven forbid that I have a misspelled word there. You can even take a screenshot and upload it here. And then when you click submit, it comes right to me. Oh, sorry. See, they're going to force me to have a description. So sorry about that. Of course, I'm too lazy to write a description for you. Now, past the help center, let's see, let me get out of there. Man, that's what I get for being lazy. Is we also have, if you're into FCCLA or if your students are, we have created then a master list. You can either download this, it's in Word, and then add to it or take away as you want to. But we have gone through and by pathway, you'll notice it's architecture and construction is first. We have identified the specific strategies that we feel are FCCLA specific. So you'll also see that now we're into Arts AV, Technology and Communications. And you'll notice that there are a lot of fashion from our fashion design courses. And then there you go. Now we're being very specific within that pathway. Okay. What else can I show you? The welcome page is just the same thing as home, in case you want to click back there. And then community search is the same thing almost as discover, where if I wanted to look up someone, I'm going to choose the name Becky because I happen to have a couple of Beckys that I know of, and I was looking for Becky Martinez.
Mara?
Yes.
Can you show them the standards ribbon? Because they
Yes.
do use the national standards, and this will be a very helpful resource for them.
Yes. Thank you. Let's click into something different. We'll go into Fashion Design 1. I think that's one of the courses of the 12 that y'all have access to. So you land on this homepage. And now you have an outline available here as a Word document. So if you want to download this outline that we show here, it's going to look exactly the same, just be in Word. Okay, it's this thing. So let's go into instructional strategies and show you what the ribbon and stars feature is. Sorry, I'm so slow. Okay, so ribbon and stars, if you click on a ribbon, it will show you that all these lessons here that it has listed, and these are all hyperlinked to those lessons, all these lessons fulfill National Standard 1, and it gives you a short description of what that is. I can also, I can also click into, and that one just has one. It has 27 strategies that fulfill National Standards 1. This happens to be National Standard 16, and so you do have to click on it to see which standard you're talking about. But maybe I don't want to look through this laundry list of hundreds of strategies. I want to narrow it down to its subchapter or subparagraph. So I can go to 16.1, and here are the 104 strategies that fulfill Standard 16.1. Here is 16.2, and there are 65. Here is 16.3, and just for giggles, let's click on one to prove to you that it is a hyperlink, not that you were doubting me. But then that it opens up that strategy. Okay, so, and you're always welcome to go back and seeing it left it open for you so you knew where you were. Let's see, what else can I show you that might help? Is there any questions or any feature that you would like to see that I haven't shown you? I mean, our PowerPoints download the same as our Word documents do. It just depends on your browser. Is everybody okay?
At this time, if anyone needs to ask a specific question, you can unmute your mic and ask that directly to Mara, or if you want to put it in the chat, that would be great. And we've had a very busy chat area, so
okay.
Yes. So, I think we need to have a refresh on the PowerPoints. So if you would do that, Mara.
Okay, sure. Let me get back into that, and let me see if I can think of we're just going to wing it and just go into some, because we don't have a standard where we say every strategy is going to have a PowerPoint, a web link, and a blah blah blah. This one is a web page. I'll try to make this quick. As soon as we find a PowerPoint, we're going to go for it. Oh, yay. Okay, we found one. Fashion terminology. So did you see it downloaded pretty quickly down here at the bottom of my browser? Again, if you're Firefox, it'll populate up in the upper right-hand corner arrow, and it'll blink at you. So it's going to download as an editable PDF PowerPoint. Now, you'll notice that this happens to just be one slide, and you'll notice that there are 0 animations, and that is so that you can adapt this to you. For me, because of it having so many bullet points, I would chunk or animate each one so we could discuss each one. That's my teaching style. This is set up so that way you can have your own teaching style. Okay, so you could even change this image if you don't like it. We also have them be static like this with one eye towards accessibility. So if you have students in your classroom who are using a screen reader, this is the format that is easiest for a screen reader to communicate to them what is on the slide.
So Mara, would you say that this is the type of slide that they would find at the beginning of a unit or topic to introduce vocabulary?
Yes, ma'am.
And then other PowerPoints would be longer depending on the content of that particular topic or the strategies that are going along with it.
Yes, I know that in our interior design course, we have one PowerPoint that is over 40 slides because it's talking about the different structural styles. I can't remember exactly where that is, and I don't want to go on a goose chase for you. And I should have paid more attention and gotten that one down. Let's see if maybe organization of fashion might have some, but yeah, it looks like vocabulary. Let's look at a flow chart. Oh, YouTube. So we do try to let you know if we're showing a YouTube video, because I know some of your schools are pretty specific about what they will allow you to have. So we do try to give you a heads up that if it's a YouTube video. Okay, see, these are all slides because they're organizational charts. I apologize that I don't have a more lengthy PowerPoint to show you. Do you want me to keep looking? I can if y'all want to discuss something else while I do it.
Do we have any other questions for Mara? If not, this would be a time, Gail, if you want to jump in and share a little bit about the grant and what you've been sending out, and then I'll call up the courses that we are using for you with a special project.
Okay. So good to see you all. Hi. My heart goes out to every one of you. Virtual hug and pat on the back for all the great things you're doing for your own family and your school. I can't imagine, I just can't imagine anything that's happening out there at this point, but I know it's all good, and we're gonna do this together. I was able to secure $15,000 of Reserve Perkins grant money to put toward this project. Worked with Dr. Alexander, which is weird to say because I know her as Karen. We've known each other a long time. To put together a portfolio of 12 courses for your use to help you in this crazy spring that we have, to help you find vetted resources that have strategies, many of which can be delivered online or virtually. And so that's why we have this available. Karen graciously was able to secure this for only $50 a person. So I have 300 slots through the Reserve Perkins grant, and I sent that out, gosh, I think it was last week. I'll send it out again tonight at the conclusion of this presentation. It is like every other Reserve Perkins grant. It's a pass-through grant. So you write the grant, then your school has to you write the grant, submit it to me, I process it, I send your email and your name to Karen. They process it and they will send a bill to your school. Your school then pays with a PO or whatever your process is, and then draws down the $50 times each teacher from the grant. I know some of your schools have, they said they've frozen your accounts, and we had a talk yesterday with Mr. Dennis at KSDE, and he said he doesn't understand why that would happen because the money is there. I'm sure it is a drawdown just to keep everything from needing attention past whatever everything people are having to do with the continuous learning situation and the waiver that's being written. So some of you I know have been successful in sitting down with your CT coordinator and asking them if they're able to do this, because it's ending up no money out of pocket. So I don't want to say that your school shouldn't have a freeze, but do realize that this will end up being no money out of your pocket. So thank you, Karen, for letting me explain that a little bit.
Sure, no problem. Janet, did you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question. Can you go back and show the sorting by standards on the website?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, no problem. So like this, I think we're in, fashion design 1. So the first one populates as national standards 1. And then this one is actually breaks down into being 1.2. There's 27, these 27 strategies fulfill 1.2. Let me get out of there. This one, wow. National Standard 16 we have 16.1, 16.2, 16.3, and then all these, so all the ones that fall underneath that subparagraph are all hyperlinked. So like we could click into this color schemes one. And you should, and let me, thank you. That's something I wanted to point out that I didn't do earlier. Thank you for that question. You'll notice again, it's broken out just like what it was before, in the same order. This one also has questions for discussion. You could turn these into quiz questions if you would like. This one has a double set because it has 2 different components. Down at the bottom of each one is the actual national standard as it is officially, and it's completely broken down. So even though we were in 16 point, or were we in 16.3? Then it actually breaks it down all the way. So if your principal makes you report out your national standards, I know in Texas they have to do the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills. This would be where you could get it. And again, this is something you can literally copy and paste and put into your Word document or whatever it is, however you report your national standards out. Janet, did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you. I realized that my chat box was on top of that over on the right side, so I didn't at all. And
dang it. Oh, that's annoying. If y'all haven't tried a 2-monitor system, you may want to invest in a second monitor because it really will change your life. There was one thing, Dr. Alexander, do I have time to show them one last thing? And it's our resources and the fact that we have some webinars coming up. Okay, so we have some resources for you to use that we just want to show you. And again, so I'm just going to go in and Google CCFCS TTU and go to our normal web pages. We have a whole bunch of resources for you. If we click into teaching resources, we have assessments. We have 32 rubrics that are in Word format that are available for you to use, and they're specific for FCS. They were written by FCS teachers, and you are welcome to use these. These are PowerPoint presentation. Let's do that. It downloads again as a Word document, and it is ready for you to use. Enable to edit and do your thing with them, okay? We also have live binders, and let me scroll down. Oh, there's our rubric writing team. Let me get back into our, I went all the way out. Teaching resources. If you want to scroll down, or we also have that, those are little paragraph things. Where are our live binders? Presentations and projects. Here's a live binder that you are welcome to use. And this is just a fabulous resource, and it's been organized with these tabs on the side. So like I can click that, and it breaks me into any one of these things that I want to see. This is an amazing resource that is free for you to use. And Dr. Miller, one of our professors in our Family Consumer Sciences Education Department, put this together.
And this is organized by the national standards. So if you're familiar with live binders, it's a really great resource, and directs you to a lot of free things. So we definitely highlight that type of thing on our webpage as well. Mara, if you go ahead back up to our banner.
Yeah, for sure.
On the homepage.
Sure.
Okay, so we have some other things that we're highlighting. First of all, you all are getting 12 of the courses, which I'm going to show you here in just a minute, for $50, which is an exceptional value, and that will run through June 30th if you apply for that grant and you're approved with Gala. And we also, for any of the courses that maybe you don't have access to, we do have some sample lessons, well, not lessons, but sample units with the strategies included there. And then a couple of other things that we have for you, our dollars and cents curriculum, which is a financial literacy curriculum. Right now, you can get access to that entire course. And the reason for that is because it is on the state adopted textbook list for Texas for financial literacy, and we have to leave it available for a preview period. So you would actually be able to take advantage of that preview period and look at that course and use materials from it. That would only be accessible for the next 30 days. It's because it is not on your list. But one of the other things that we have available for you, if you scroll down, we have some webinars. Last night we did one on Google Basics. It was very well attended. Some of you may have been there, and we're getting ready to post the video from that webinar that will go up tomorrow. But if you were in attendance, you should be getting it this evening. And then on Tuesdays and Wednesdays for the next couple of weeks, we're going to be having free webinars. The next one will be on Pear Deck for Google Slides, which is an amazing resource, and it works really well. Obviously, with Google Slides, it's meant to be an add-on with Google Classroom and Google Slides. But if you have a PowerPoint already, you can upload that into Pear Deck and convert it over and make it interactive. And it is one of the resources that we're promoting for students, more student interaction at a distance. Mm-hmm. And so Christy Storms, who is a professor of practice, will be showing that application and answering questions, and that will be a week from, or I'm sorry, Tuesday, March the 31st at 7 p.m. and the link is listed there for you to register. We have space for up to 300 individuals in the webinar. But if you aren't able to connect with us, don't worry. We are recording all of these, and we're recording tonight, so you'll have access to this one as well. Then on Wednesday, April the 1st, Dr. Cindy Miller, who is the author of the Live Binder that we just mentioned, will be doing one on collaboration tools and resources in learning management systems. We use Blackboard here at Texas Tech, so that will be her basis of demonstration. However, most of the learning management systems are very similar, have similar functions and similar tools. And so she'll be showing things like groups and interactive discussions, wikis, and several other things. So if your district is using something like Canvas, this would be a great way to learn about potential collaboration tools and resources. Then Mara will will be back with us on April the 7th, and she's going to be doing a webinar on quality instructional videos, and especially thinking about how do you do those with what you're going to have available to you while you are sequestered at home. And so we look forward to having her present that. She is an expert in putting together quality instructional videos. And then we'll actually finish out our last webinar that we have on the schedule with Jincy Hui, who is our instructor, and she's going to teach participants how to build live binders and how those can be used for active learning. We are requesting topics for additional webinars throughout the spring. The webinars are part of our outreach. We have been wanting to do webinars, but we keep saying that's something we'll get to, and so it really became very important that we move ahead with implementing them, and the webinar we had last night was very successful. So we are certainly dedicated to that now, and dedicated to meeting the needs of you all through whatever topics you might find to be helpful. So let us know if there's anything on the chat that's in addition that you see here that you need. We're more than happy to provide that. Janet responded. I do want to make sure that you all know that she responded to a couple of you. You had some questions about the PDFs in Chrome with Chromebooks. I know for sure that the PDFs work really well in Google Classroom, but some individuals may not have all the tools and resources, so you may need to download the free plugin, which is Kami, K-A-M-I, and I actually added that in my browser this morning. I added it in Google Chrome, I added it in Classroom, and in my Google Docs, and so you can do that very easily, and it is available to you. It should be available to your students, and once you've done that, you should be able to use the PDFs without any issue. Janet, is that correct?
Yeah, they worked perfect, even on iPad.
Yay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then we had a question about videos, and so on the YouTube videos, Mara, can you pull up one of those YouTube videos, please?
I would like to say, of course. Wasn't there one in the fashion? I thought we saw one that, okay, there's Huffington Post. Dad burn it. It may take me a while. Is there another question that they can do while we,
Okay, so let me go ahead and share my screen real quickly, and with that, I'm gonna,
I'll stop.
Did you find one?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, I was just gonna say I'll stop my share.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna stop Mara's, and I'm gonna share my screen and let you see the document that shows the crosswalk between our courses and yours. Just to give you a little bit of history, the Curriculum Center for Family and Consumer Sciences has been in business for over 50 years, and we are a center at Texas Tech University. So we are not a nonprofit group, but we work similar to a nonprofit in that we have to have enough revenue to pay our bills, keep the lights on, and pay the staff. So that's one of the reasons why our curriculum is rather affordable for a normal membership, but you guys have gotten a steal of a deal because Gayla is quite the negotiator. Because we originally started in Texas, that's where a lot of our course titles have originated. And so in that process, then we have moved to the national level. We are the only center in the nation that is dedicated to the development of family and consumer sciences curriculum resources only. That's all we do is family and consumer sciences. And our resources have been developed by classroom teachers, and all of us on staff, except for Becky, have been classroom teachers. Becky's our business manager, or we have education degrees and backgrounds. disciplines, but most of us all have been in the classroom, family and consumer sciences in particular. Mara's background is English, but she is also a certified family and consumer sciences teacher. And so you can see which of our courses will crosswalk. One of the things that I do want to mention to you is that the Parenting 1 and 2 course, that course was developed in Texas for parenting teens. So it is very much about being in the moment of parenting. So you would have a lot of materials that would be relevant to your family studies class, but it is definitely targeted to your teenage pregnant and parenting students. And we have a number of them, but in Texas, that's an actual course where we have curriculum expectations. So I do want to point that out. We do not have an actual parenting course in the state of Texas, but we have enough resources and materials in Parenting 1 and 2 that will cover what you need. Our focus in Texas is on the child development side. So that's where you'll see that. Okay, so that should give you an indication of the 12 courses that you will be having access to, and Gayla felt that these were really your most utilized courses and the ones that you're probably going to need the most in terms of resources. I did want to mention to you that our food science course counts for science credit in the state of Texas, so it is a very rigorous food science course. It is designed to be a year-long science course. So it is heavy on the experiment side, but of course, many of those experiments can be adapted for the home kitchen. And we also know in the development of that class is not taught in a science lab, it's taught in a family and consumer sciences classroom. So it's taught in the context of family and consumer sciences, but it is a very rigorous course. Okay, so Mara, did you find a YouTube video?
I did.
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing and let Mara take the control back. And hopefully this will answer Casey Bell, I believe, your question, because what I want to share with you is what you'll have there and then how you can easily put that into Google Classroom.
Well, let me start over so that way you see exactly how I get there. Is everybody seeing this, my side of the screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. So here it is, and it actually even tells you in the strategies that this is an instructional video, so you have a heads up already before you read through the whole thing. And this one is about first-time renters, and so we warn you that it's YouTube, and so when we click on it, it actually opens on this same page as your strategy. So that way you're not getting shoved into YouTube now, and it keeps that sidebar from populating.
Okay, so Mara, on this, if they need to get the code in order to put that into their Google Classroom, the best thing probably would be to click on YouTube. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay,
so you can watch it on YouTube if you would like, but then you're going to get all this side stuff.
Okay, so if you need the embedding code or the URL code for the video, which is what you have to upload in Google Classroom, then you just click on the YouTube symbol. It will take you to the YouTube website, and then you can, at the bottom where it has share, call that up, Mara, then you'll be able to copy that URL. And then that is what you would paste into your video clip attachment in Google Classroom. And if you need assistance with Google Classroom Basics, that webinar that I did last night will be posted tomorrow morning. So you will be able to watch that video, and that's one of the things that I point out in the classroom development of strategies and lessons, how you can upload a video. So I hope that answers your question, Casey. Okay, good. Okay, so let's see here. Gayla did mention the time on the webinars. I had a couple reasons for that. As Gayla pointed out, we were trying to find a time where maybe you weren't committed to your districts to being on schedule, and where you may have a little bit of free time in the evening. But I am very, very concerned about the infrastructure next week in particular, with all of the students coming back from spring break officially. You know, here at Texas Tech, we've had an extended 2-week spring break. Our classes start on Monday and everything is going to be online. And so that is pretty much the case throughout the nation. And I'm concerned about the load during the 8 to 5 type of time, and knowing that the bandwidth may be limited. And so we were concerned about having successful webinars. And so that's why we put it at 7. Okay, so, so Mara, she says, please, we have a question about, please show the assessments. Okay, so Mara, go ahead and call one of those up. One of the things that I want to clarify for you all is that we do not at this time have quizzes or tests in our curriculum. We have been we've been busy trying to get everything into the learning management system. We also believe that a lot of what we do in career and technical education is very project-based. So our assessments really are more of rubrics, performance-based, project-based learning. So we are having some discussions about future down the road, what that looks like, and we are hoping to move in the direction where we can make some test banks available, but that is not at this time something that we're focused on. We'll probably have that ready maybe in the next, I would say it wouldn't be until next summer, not this coming summer, but summer of 21 for the start of the 21-22 fiscal year. But it is on our radar, but I just want to make sure that you all know that we at this time do not provide assessments that are embedded. So Mara, would you show one of those rubrics or assessments, please?
Sure. I happen to know where some are, if you don't mind looking at something we've already seen, just because that's fresh in my head. Well, we saw 2 rubrics already. And again, we have the 32 rubrics that are available, but just to refresh your memory, where were we? I think we were in this one. Sorry. There we go. Now I'm trying to think where we were. I can't remember. But we did see 2 sets. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, well, this one is actually, we provide you with the answer key. And so for the genetics, here's the answer that we were looking for the student. But then, where was that?
So that would be one that you could very easily convert.
Yes.
If you were using Google Classroom, for instance, you could create a quiz and you have your answers there, but we don't have them canned for you.
Right. No. So yes, you definitely could make this into a test, or this could be, you know, a daily grade or a quiz grade. And then I think I need to have a list of all the, this one. Okay. So because this one they're producing and they're demonstrating not only just the lower level of Bloom's taxonomy that they can regurgitate an answer, they're also having to apply it in making this information flyer and then making the information flyer then grammatically correct, which was even more important for me. So with this one again, oh yeah, we had the rubric already downloaded. So let's look at it again. So again, that's what we offer you is rubrics instead of as the assessment tool instead of a multiple choice question.
And rubrics can be included in Google Classroom. You can actually take this information and put it into the rubric tool in Google Classroom, or you could just use this, provide this to your students, and you could use it and grade it and return it to them as an attachment or provide them feedback with the category. So there's a number of ways that you can use this, especially at a distance. The other well, I kind of blanked on what I was going to say. Oh, well.
You want me to pull the rubric back up? Would that
No,
help?
it's okay. It won't come back. So it's okay. I'm looking at our time and we're a couple minutes over. So Amy mentioned, so what is the next step if we should have received an enrollment email from Motivus but have not received one yet? Okay, so that is, I think I have listed everybody's names, and we will double check. A number of you that listed you do not have access yet. I think it's because you haven't done the grant application. But Amy, I recognize your name because that was one of the ones that I had to double check, I think, on the email. So we will double check things, and what we will do is Mara has a way of pushing another welcome message out, and we can actually email you directly and tell you we have just sent another welcome message from Motivus System. And if you do not get it, then it is likely that your IT staff is not intentionally blocking Motivus, but because of the type of email that it is, the system is designed to block certain things. So you would want to email your IT professionals in the district and let them know about your access to this curriculum, and we can give you the language in that email as to what they need to do to unblock that. And then that way you will be able to get access to that. And if that is a problem after that, then communicate with us. Our email is simply ccfcs@ttu.edu. So let me just put that down here, ccfcs for Curriculum Center for Family and Consumer Sciences @ttu.edu. That is our email, and it does come to our email box that is manned by 4 different people. So it's you're likely going to get a response pretty quickly. That is one of the things that I want to say about our staff. They are exceptionally responsive to customers. We do our own tech support, believe it or not, in-house. And so we're kind of like, you know, we do it all kind of things. But Mara and Becky, shout out to them over and over. They are very customer service oriented, and Ashley is as well. And they will work with you to get things straightened out and help you as best as they possibly can. Even in the situation of being remote, all 3 of them are manning that email, and they're answering phones. So if you're contacting us between 8 and 5 of normal business hours in the Central Time Zone, which you all are, you will be getting a response. And of course, Mara's shown how you can communicate once you're in the system if you have some issues. But for those of you who are trying to get in, please use that email and keep us posted. Amy, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. For those of you who just can pop off real quick, if your IT person is it's called whitelisting, and that's what we need to do is they need to whitelist Motivus. But again, if they tell you that's what they need, so you'll know those words, then just send us an email and say, my IT guy is saying that we need to be whitelisted, and we can definitely help them with that.
And it may be an IT gal. So
or gal, that's right. Sorry.
Mara wanted me to just mention to you that we have other courses. We actually have 36 courses, and some of them are like double courses where you get a 2-for-1 with our practicums especially. And our normal price for membership for a teacher for a full year access, 365 days, is $200 for the first course and $150 for each additional course up to 8 courses. And then we cut those teachers with 8 courses a break, and you get them for $100 a piece. New members will always have a discount, so you can see that your state leadership is really good with her negotiation skills, because you're getting all of those courses for $50. And each of the courses have hundreds of strategies. And so we hope that that this
Kayla, you're getting lots of shout outs on the chat room.
So we are hoping that this will give you a good orientation to the curriculum, and that maybe after all of this settles down, that you will think about us in the future as another resource, and talk with your CTE coordinators, especially as they're putting together their local Perkins grants, about maybe the opportunity to purchase those memberships for you all. So we are so glad to be working with you in this capacity. We are here to help. Gayla, is there anything else that you have for the good of the cause?
Well, I'm sorry, but no, I'm not sorry that you cut me such a deal for Kansas. I just want to say thank you so much for doing this for us. We were the first state in the nation that said we weren't going to go back to school. And I know that everyone's stress level tripled. And I really feel that I hope the rest of the teachers here agree that this will really help them alleviate some of that stress and be able to look through everything and not have to figure out how to do everything by themselves from scratch. So
good.
I just want to thank you so much for working with me on this. And for teachers, hopefully you find it as beneficial as Karen and I both think that it would be. And in the future, if you decide that you want to be able to secure this to continually use it, it is Perkins funding eligible. And so that could be something to think about when you turn stuff in next year. Lots of CTE programming and processing are still going to take place. So planning for next year is going to continue as if it was a regular school year. Perkins requests need to go in at this when you're asked, what do you need next year? You would still want to do that. And then if I can throw out one more thing, we have a lot of reserve Perkins money that we're going to have to push out the door between now and the end of June. So watch from some notes from me about large equipment grants. So I just want to put a bug in your ear about that. That will be coming.
Awesome. Well, and someone said Kansas FCS teachers rock. I agree. So you all have a great evening. Thank you so much. And we will be making this recording available to you. Let us know if you need any additional assistance. Have a great evening.
Bye.